Doctor Who Season 2 seems to be off to quite the interesting start, with viewing figures dropping very dramatically. It's definitely not an understatement to say that this new season is off to a bad start, and, well, it probably doesn't help that their main focus of the first episode back was toxic masculinity. And it really didn't help their case. The numbers do show this, and the numbers obviously don't lie. But also, another thing that doesn't lie is the people. And we're going to be having a look at numbers and people's opinions in today's video. This one is a pretty big video. It's a little bit, almost a bit of a follow-up video to discuss the aftermath of episode 1. If you want my views on episode 1, I did a full, just over 1 hour breakdown and review. And trust me when I say we broke it down and reviewed it, we broke it down and we reviewed it. Because we broke down every single point of that episode, and oh my god, when you start breaking down bad writing, it really falls apart. It crumbles. You've got scenes that don't make sense, you've got points of characters making that contradict themselves. For example, there's a part where Belinda says that she basically her point against Alan was that he's like, basically that all he does is complain, but that's literally what Belinda did the entire episode. I'm not even gonna lie, all she did was complain and bitch the entire episode. So yeah, there's quite a lot of different points as well, and there's just a lot of writing issues and stuff in general. So if you want to go ahead and see them full actual in-depth points, broken down and analysed, then go ahead and watch that video. Get some snacks and just put the video on, get some snacks and enjoy the full breakdown, I guess. But yeah, we're going to be doing a breakdown on episode 2 very, very soon, so stay tuned for that as well. And make sure, whilst you're there, smash a like on this video right now and also hit that subscribe button for more content. We basically release a ton of brand new Doctor Who content every single week. So make sure to subscribe and like the video if you enjoy Doctor Who content, or you just want to keep up with the latest Doctor Who news and other cool Doctor Who stuff, because we're going to be doing some reviews very, very soon on some Doctor Who merchandise and products. So we've got a lot coming very, very soon. So yeah, subscribe, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into this video. Now, the first thing that I really, really want to look at is the viewing figures. Now, I've already seen so many different excuses for viewing figures, and none of them really hold up. It's just excuse after excuse after excuse, and it doesn't really, like, you can only say so much until you're clearly just trying to patch up a crack in the dam and the water is flooding out of it, which is kind of what is happening with Doctor Who. Because, spoiler alert, I will make another entire video on this, but I'm pretty sure that the viewing figures overnight for episode 2, like 400,000 people dropped off, and that is not very good. Because, well, yeah, I think about 400,000, it may even be more, but that's not good, because episode 1, which should be your most viewed episode, it is genuine. I think it's the lowest viewing figure ever in modern Who, and that is very, very bad. The lowest ever. Let's have a look at this. So we've got the overnight viewing figures right here, and we've got the comparison of the overnights from season 1 right here, and then the 7 days plus overnight. So yeah, basically we've got the 7 day plus as well. So as you can see on the right here, we've got numbers such as 2.6 million, 2.4 million, 2.04 million, 2.62, 2.1, 2.1, 2.02, 2.25, and 4.1, which 4.1 was the Christmas special, I believe. So yeah, as you can see, everything is above the 2 millions in here, and as you can see on the left right here, we're at a solid 2 million, and episode 2, again, spoilers, but episode 2 has dropped below the 2 million mark. This is actually quite sad, I'm not gonna lie, for a show that I have watched for so many years. I grew up watching this show. To see it fall to this little new low here, it's not good. And we're not just going to be taking a look at these viewing figures right here. We're going to take a look at actual other metrics as well. Because I didn't just pull this one little receipt here. I pulled them all. I pulled all the receipts. So I did my research for this video, you can definitely say. But yeah, as you can see, this 2 million, it's not good. When most of the overnight viewing figures right here were, you know, like in comparison, if you look over the other side, 2.6 million. You've dropped 600,000 from that same position last year, which is quite interesting. And as you can see, 2.6 million to 3.71 million, it's a bit of a jump, but, you know, nothing too crazy. So I can't really see that this is going to be anything higher, and if anything, it will be just a drop in that sort of viewership, which it's really not good to see. And I don't take any enjoyment as well. Like, for a lot of people who support, well, I would say support the show, but they don't really support the show. They just kind of blow smoke up. Yeah, essentially they just kind of blow smoke up Russell T Davies' arse and essentially just say that everything is amazing and oh, you don't need to, the viewing figures don't matter. Yeah, of course the viewing figures matter. It's your literal, it's the metric that shows how many people actually care about the show. Because if you care enough about the show, you're going to view it. That's the general consensus on that. But yeah, basically, we also have some other things as well. So, you know, people will just say, oh, this doesn't matter, but, another thing that I also like to say is that the people who criticise the show are in a small little bubble, which is quite funny because they actually probably are talking a little bit more about themselves. Because I honestly, if you take the general sort of concept, like if you take the general popularity of this show, you know, there's a lot of people who are saying it's gone downhill, and if you've got a lot of people saying the same thing, it's probably because it's true, not because they're all in. Are you trying to say that the majority of people are in this little bubble and they're all wrong? And, like, the minority of people are in the right? Because that doesn't really make much sense. And from this, you will definitely see what I mean. So, if we have a look at the worldwide viewing figures, because, you know, again, another thing that these Doctor Who YouTubers like to do is say, oh, well, the viewing figures are a little bit low because it's the BBC, people don't watch TV anymore. So, let's do this, and let's have a look at the worldwide streaming figures. Because, you know what? If it's TV that's dying out, and that is what your point of view is, which it always does tend to be. It's like, oh, TV's dying out. That explains the low numbers. It explains the low numbers. So let's have a little look at the worldwide figures, because if Doctor Who is doing really, really good, and it's a really, really successful show, and it's doing just as good as it used to do, it should be breaking top 10 in other countries. So let's have a little look. So we've got top 10 TV shows on Disney Plus. Yeah, it's not even in the top 10. I mean, yeah, it's not even at the top 10. That is very disappointing. And that does look very, very bad for Disney. There's other shows. And again, another show that I hear a lot about is Bluey. And that is also a BBC-owned thing. Doctor Who should be the BBC's #1 most popular show in the UK and also outside the UK. But Bluey seems to take #7 spot, and Doctor Who is nowhere to be seen. Which it just feels disappointing. At this point, it just feels disappointing. I'm not even trying to take the piss here. I'm trying to have a look and see. I want to be able to say, okay, okay. So I'm like, oh, I really want to say. I want to sit here and say, oh, well, Doctor Who isn't doing good in the UK and on BBC One on television, but look, it's doing really, really good on Disney Plus, and that's a good way for the future. But again, it just isn't. It isn't on the list. We also have April 13th as well, which is the day after, just in case, and again, nowhere to be seen on the top 10. Again, just very, very disappointing for Doctor Who. Now, we have a couple more sources here as well, but just before we take a look at our next big source, we're going to have a little look at what some people said about it. And we have taken some comments from another small creator, and considering this episode was about toxic masculinity, we're going to take the next points from a woman. So nobody can sit here and cry and bitch like most people in the comments usually do. So yeah, you can, because that'll be the next thing. People say, oh, you're toxically masculine because you didn't like the show. Just like people will say, oh, you're transphobic because you didn't like the 60th anniversary specials. Like that was like a legitimate point. Or they'll try and say that you're like racist because you don't like the show and the Doctor's a person of colour. Like, that's the most retarded shit I have ever heard. And it literally doesn't make sense. If it's a good show, we'll like it. If it's not a good show, people won't like it. That's just how it works. Yeah, the whole trying to blame it, and a trend going around at the moment as well is trying to blame the audience, which blaming an audience for the problems of the show is not a good idea. Maybe take accountability as writers and producers and make a better show, because that's what people want. People want good, fun science fiction shows that they can just sit down, watch and enjoy without having messaging shoved into it and poorly crammed into the fabric of this show, because that's not what we want with this. And I think I can speak for a good amount of people. This is not what we want in our entertainment. So yeah, shout out to this smaller YouTuber right here. Obviously go show some support. I always like to support other creators on this platform, but this channel right here, who as you can see is a woman, so you can't pull the toxic masculinity card there, you know. But yeah, we have this channel, chat about it, don't shout about it. I think this is quite a good moral, actually, because a lot of people like to shout, but they don't think about what they're actually shouting about. So they type comments in the comments section down below, and they don't make much sense. I did a video on this quite recently, actually, where I looked over the comments and then pointed out how brain dead they were. And it was quite funny, it was quite entertaining. So, you know what, might do another one of them soon. Soon, could be in the future. They gotta wait, I guess, for that one. So, yeah, subscribe. But basically, we're gonna have a look at this channel. Basically, she put out just a little thing, basically saying, anybody, you know, what's your opinions, what's your thoughts on this? I think she put like a community post out or something like that, and just said, Doctor Who just came out, drop your thoughts. So let's have a little look and see what people actually said. So, first comment right here says, it was badly written, cartoon-like, Doctor Who with a new companion whose acting was far from impressive. The resolution didn't make any logical sense. Yeah, I think the resolution of this episode wasn't very good. I think they did a lot of lazy writing in this episode to try and push together and make it all end alright, but they didn't really think about it properly, because there was plenty of other directions that could have resolved issues within the show, but, you know. I found it dull, nodded off hard, and had to go back. Yeah. Personally, I don't agree with this one. I think it was entertaining as an episode, but all of like the little poor writing points, as somebody who makes films and stuff like that themselves, as soon as you start seeing little flaws in writing and cracks and stuff, it makes the episode really unwatchable again. Like, rewatching this episode would kind of be a bit of a pain, and especially when you've got all of this like messaging crammed into it as well, it just doesn't make for a fun rewatch. So, but I wouldn't say it's dull. I think there was a lot going on in the episode, so yeah, I wouldn't say it's dull. Switch off halfway through the 2023 Xmas special, yeah, and have no intention of watching it again. Been watching since it was in black and white, saw New Who as a poor relation. Again, this is somebody who's been watching since black and white and doesn't really take New Who as the same sort of thing, but it slowly descended into pure brain rot. Yeah, that's definitely happened. Again, like the whole incel joke was clearly just some sort of poorly made joke that was made so that the brain rot community can just laugh at it, and they'll laugh at anything. Trust me, they scroll through TikTok all day and laugh at pointless shit all day, and it's kind of sad that society is turning into this, if you think about it, because, you know, bring back actual comedy. There we go, that's another thing for another day, but yeah. I haven't watched it, nor will I will any of the season. Again, this is, like, people who have watched Doctor Who and actively are not watching it because of the poor writing and all of this stuff. And, you know, and again, Doctor Who channels are saying, oh, people are still watching, nobody's stopped watching. This is just, like, people here. One person said they switched off halfway through the Christmas special, and one person said, haven't watched it. These are people who just haven't watched it. So again, doesn't help the point here. Let's have a look at some more. I especially love how he stereotypes male gamers. Apparently it's okay to do such things when the shoe is on the other foot. I actually pointed that out in my review. It is quite funny how Russell finds it okay to stereotype some people, but has real issues with stereotyping other people. It doesn't make sense. You can't really make it okay for some and not okay for some others, because it doesn't work then, and it makes your storylines look very, very contradicting, and yeah, it just doesn't give a good look overall, to be honest with you. Somebody else said, I cancelled my TV license in August 2024, so I'll wait for the Blu-ray box set to be released before I can watch it. But I'm excited to see what others' opinions are whilst it's being broadcast. Yeah, and I mean, there's definitely an increase in people cancelling their TV licenses and stuff, mainly because the BBC and a lot of other channels do just push absolute garbage slop out there now. Like, it's difficult to find something that's actually interesting to watch on TV. Like Doctor Who, I mean, was the one big thing for me, but it's slightly fading nowadays. You know, that the quality is going downhill, and it seems like that with a lot of television nowadays. So yeah, enjoy your Blu-ray box set when that comes, because very, very cool. And yeah, enjoy. Let's have a look. It felt unspeakably muddled. I hated the robot designs. Yeah, again, I liked the robot designs. I thought they were pretty cool. I'm not going to criticise something that I genuinely... And the Doctor cried again. So yeah, this is something worthy of criticising. So I would say the Doctor cried again. And he cries in every single episode at this point. I'm just convinced that Russell has written this in. Again, the more you do something, the less it has an effect on the audience. It's just another example of poor writing. Please let Disney have Doctor Who completely, because one thing they intend to do is get rid of RTD. I'm not sure about that actually, because I think Russell has some things that Disney would definitely agree with in terms of writing and you know, what he stands for, etc., and what he's putting into Doctor Who, which is ultimately what is ruining it. Along with obviously the writing, but I think it all does stem from forcibly ramming all of this messaging into the show, and yeah, that's just the truth of it, to be honest. Somebody put Doctor Who. That is the question we've been wondering for 60 odd years. Yeah, hopefully they'll answer it. No, that's actually a joke. I hope they don't answer it, because it would ruin the entire concept of the show. You're not supposed to know who the Doctor is, hence the name of the show. So yeah, please don't go and ruin the show even more by answering the question that you're not supposed to answer. Just leave it as a question. Leave us all to wonder. Maybe we all have our own theories, and that's completely fine. Somebody else said, I was not impressed. Neither was I, funny enough, and a lot of other people, they didn't seem very impressed. So, yeah. Let's have a look a little bit more. I thought it was better than Space Babies, had a better story behind it. I completely agree with you on that one. I think it was better than Space Babies, but not by a ton. I think it's better than all of Shooting Upwards episodes, realistically. In some areas. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up. I was thinking about. Okay, I've watched Lux by the time this video came out, and I was thinking about Lux when answering that question. I got very excited about that, but then I realised we're talking about the robot revolution. Yeah, some ways were better than Space Babies. Some ways were actually worse than Space Babies. Space Babies had less political messaging shoved into it, which helped the writing. But then again, they did that whole thing in Space Babies where they just tell you everything and don't show you, but they did a little bit of showing and not telling in this. So I think that basically puts it about neck and neck. I wouldn't really say it was a much better episode than Space Babies. Next week's episode, though, I think it shows a little bit of improving. But yeah, apologies about that. I got quite excited then, because Doctor Who made a decent episode. Right, let's have a little look on this right here. So, another source that we have is Rotten Tomatoes. Because, yeah. So, as you can see, the audience rated it a 57%. Ooh, that doesn't look very good. But as you can see, the critics rated it 100%. All 9 of them. That doesn't look bad. Only 9 people could be bothered to actually put a review in. 9. That is terrible. Wow, that is actually terrible. And it does pair with the over 50 plus ratings from 50 plus ratings and 57%. Not looking great. Not looking great. Just over half of people would say something good about it. It's not looking great. And then we've got a final screenshot right here. Here are some of the actual reviews right here. So the first review, because we're not going to just take percentages, we're going to actually look at actual reviews. So the first review says 5-star, great, everything what Doctor Who have to be. Hope they bring out the Daleks again and the Weeping Angels. Yeah, not really everything that Doctor Who was to be, but it's nice to see that somebody enjoyed it. That Raymond B enjoyed it. I guess that's cool, yeah. I mean, there were some good points about it. I mean, don't get me wrong, the set design is great. That Disney budget is really, really helping. But, no amount of budget can cover up a bad writing. Somebody said half a star. I didn't even know you could get half a star on this. But yeah, half a star. R.I.P. Doctor Who 1963 to 2017. Yeah, I think that is actually quite a good. That is quite good. Because for me, after 2017, I think the series just started going downhill, and it's been on a downward spiral ever since. Realistically, like they tried to revive it with the 60th anniversary specials, but then we just saw that it was going down the path of every other big show, like Star Wars and everything like that, and that's been going on a downward spiral as well. So it's like we're just praying that that they can fix it, but as season 2 is going at the moment, I'm not betting my money on Doctor Who being fixed by the second season. It would be quite the miracle if it was. Somebody else said half a star. I think it's 1 star, but I think it just shows up as half. But Doctor Who has surprised me yet again on how to make another bland episode. Yeah, I personally wouldn't say that it was a bland episode, but I mean, if you have any sort of writing knowledge, it's gonna start looking bad to you. And if there's anybody else who actually does have some writing knowledge, it's impossible not to see all of the cracks in the writing and just all the issues. Because when you actually start breaking down the episode, which not many people have actually done, they just said, oh, I really enjoyed this episode, it was really, really cool. And then they make a 15-minute video on it. That's not breaking down and looking into an episode. If you wanted to actually look over the episode, you'd make a 40-minute video, a 30-40-minute video at least. I made an over an hour video because I had to break down everything, and I had a couple of other little bits as well to look at the beginning. But yeah, not looking good. First impression of the companions was terror. Yeah, the companion just complained the entire time. Not looking great. The acting by far subpar, or even worse, for the opening scene. Yeah, again, just didn't look great. The Doctor seems to be the same emotional wreck as shown towards the dead. No sympathy, but with laughter. Yeah, again, what they are saying with this whole thing, which I completely agree with, is the Doctor is crying over death at one point, and then he just completely laughs at another, which just completely broke the Doctor's character to me. This is everything that the Doctor isn't, and it just goes completely opposite what the Doctor is as a character, and what the Doctor should be as a character as well, because, yeah, I just think this just didn't, like, this part of the episode was, for me, was just, like, the point where I was just like, no, this is not a good episode. Like, you can't even write the Doctor correctly, and that's, like, your main character, so it's like, come on, like, please, like, at least write the Doctor in the correct way. Like, you've got so many other versions of the Doctor as well, just to show that throughout all of the other Doctors, he at least has some morals that he sticks to throughout all of the incarnations. So why is it different for Ncuti? Like, this makes no sense at all. And, you know, it just looks really, really bad. And, yeah, wasn't the greatest scene, I would say. But yeah, that is pretty much the end of this whole video and this review. So if you guys enjoyed this video, then please go ahead and smash a like on the video right now, and hit that subscribe button for more content. We're going to be making a bunch more content on the channel. Also, go ahead and smash a like on this video if you want us to make more videos where we talk a little bit more about the ratings and what other people thought about the episodes, because I could definitely grind out one of these extra a week. So if you want to see more of this kind of stuff, then definitely stick around, smash the like button, because I definitely will do some more if you guys are wanting it. So yeah, I'm more than happy to grind out an extra one a week per episode, just to see what the general opinion was on the episode. So yeah, I'm definitely down to do that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you want more videos, obviously smash the like button, subscribe as always, and yeah, that's basically the end of this video. So thanks for watching, comment, like and subscribe as always, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.